pity that our viewers didn't get to see Hyunkyung dancing to that music just now.
I stopped immediately before the camera came to me. Yes.
Last week, design expert Han Jisop promised to take me out for some session on Architecture 101. Instead, he took Young again.
I'm sorry you were
and stood
rejected.
me up. What is this every time? So this better be a good one.
Well, it will be a good one. We had a chance to visit not just one, but two different areas, and it gives a whole new word or meaning to the word renovating or recycling. Perhaps. I mean, I think it would be unfair to call it recycling, but at the same time, it's a way to use an old building, keep the culture, and use it for another purpose. And we'll take a look at this right now.
So this is the building we're going to look at today.
All right, so this is Seoul Station, and this is the original Seoul Station, which is not running anymore. It's not operating.
The building was built a long time ago, but now it's converted into the museum.
It's an architectural piece of history, so let's go. This is where everyone used to line up, and
Line up for the tickets of the train, and
you said it looks so small, actually. It's beautiful. It was built in the 1920s, and it's hard to believe that it's all so well preserved.
yes, the building was built in 1920s and has been running as a railroad station for 80 years. But just a few years ago, they decided to renovate it and turn it into the museum. So as you can see, some of the details here, a lot of original pieces were rebuilt as original condition, and they did a pretty good job on it.
So this old Seoul Station, the original one, is being used as a museum right now.
Yes.
Is this a common case around the world?
Well, actually, there is a Bristol Museum in United Kingdom, and also Musée d'Orsay in Paris, Bahnhof Museum in Hamburg, Germany. And they will all used to be the railroad station where they have tall ceilings and big spaces. And since they are not using it as a railroad station anymore, they converted it into a museum. And I think it's been very successful.
So instead of tearing it down, what they'll do is they'll renovate it, keep the original state of it, and redo the interior basically, and then make a museum out of it, right?
Exactly. Instead of demolishing the building, which creates more construction waste, they recycle the space that are already beautiful and convert it into something else. And I think it's a very good way to approach the design.
And it looks like they did a magnificent job over here.
Yes. Well, this building used to be the water pressurization system, and it was built in 1974 and was running for 30 years or so, and then they ran out of the places, so they closed it down, but instead of demolishing it, they converted it into a museum. Well, in this building, many of these places explains about Yun Dong-ju. Unfortunately, he passed away right before the liberalization of a colonial period. But he used to rent houses around this district, and he wrote a lot of poems. And that's why this place was designated as Yun Dong-ju Literature House.
All right. So this is basically his hometown right here that we're standing on.
Exactly. Let's go look at the next space.
All right. All right, wow. Now the walls, they have that familiar tone of some of the walls on the buildings at the Haiti Art Village.
Yes, it's because you see the watermarks here on the wall. This used to be the water pressurization station, and they used to be filled with the water here.
All
so
right.
that's the marks, and I think architect wanted to keep that stain as a sort of a pattern.
And it also has that weather look. It looks very natural at the same time, very antique, right?
Yes, correct.
But I noticed there's no roof. There's no roof or a lid or anything like that.
Yes. Well, I think Yun Dong-ju's one of the poems talks about the heaven, earth, wind, and sky. I think the architect had a desire to sort of mimic that phenomena here.
Okay, to
in the
leave this
space.
open.
Yeah.
And then on a clear night, you can see all the stars illuminating
Yes.
the sky.
Yeah, this is the third gallery, and this is another water tank area, what used to be the water tank. And here is completely different than the previous water tank space that we saw. It's completely covered.
Yeah, you're right. This one does is an enclosed space, more like a chamber, And you see the stairs that used to be there, or the steps that used to be there, the ladder, with that one area that's illuminating the whole place.
I heard the architect had a desire to mimic the prison that Yoon Dong-ju spent the rest of his life. So he purposely made this very dark space, but it's also very convenient to show the slideshows here. So.
Wow, when I was coming into the building and I was looking from the outside, I never imagined that there would be so much meaning encapsulated in the structure.
Well, I think it's a combination of both. Architect's desire to keep the original condition, at the same time he's building something new and create something out of it. I think it's the synergy effect of using both renovation and the new construction together and combined into something completely new.
During his younger days, the poet Yoon Dong-ju, he used to write poems and live in that area that's known as the Cheongwon-dong area, and they decided to commemorate him by building his literature center right there in the middle of it all.
Quite meaningful.
Very meaningful, in fact.
Yeah, and the Seoul Station, they have many exhibitions, interesting exhibitions going on. So if you haven't seen the renovated Seoul Station, it's a must-check-out place.
Yeah, right. And while you're at it, be whimsical. The real train station is right next to the old train station, and just hop on a train and take off.
The
Tomorrow's
weekend is
Friday,
just around
right?
the corner.
I think I might actually do that. Are you going to be responsible if I just hop on a train and then just go ahead even
Yes.
today?
I'll
She will
be
show with
responsible.
Hyungyung. We'll be fine.
Okay, sounds good.
right, that
For more information, you can always visit the website at seoul284.org on the old Seoul Station. But for the getting tickets, and you're going to have to find it some other way by visiting the official website of Seoul Station.
That's right. Well, that brings us to the end of this edition of Korea Today. Tomorrow, Young might not join us, so stay tuned.
No, I will. I'll take a night trip real quick and get back here by 7 a.m. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Bye-bye.